Good morning. Um, is it Wednesday? Yeah, I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, middle of the week. Um, so far, so good. We've gotten here. Good morning, Dora and Susan and Deb and Ruth. Yeah, enjoy the weather. It's going to be nice. Um, Nicer anyway. So walking the dog yesterday was. It's like you know puddles. I'm wearing like rain boots, which is fine. And my son um, offered to go with me yesterday, and I said, no, you don't. You don't even have any boots. You don't have proper shoe. So yeah. So now the kids are grown up, right? I don't buy their shoes for them. They don't have boots. But that was the one thing that I made sure everyone always had was some kind of rain boots or something because if you live in Delaware and you don't have something waterproof for your feet, then I don't think you're really committed to living here because you're going to need it. You can't if you think you're just going to stay home on rainy days, you're going to stay home a lot, which is fine. But it's nice to be able to get out, especially this time of year. You take advantage of the days that are pleasant. Um, so I'm definitely going to have my boots on and trudge through the puddles today. Um, So I think today let's talk a little bit about grounding. Um, so grounding is um, two things, right? So we talk about it in uh, the sense of like there's a real physical aspect to grounding. So if you think about electricity, right, and wiring, so in electrical outlets, electrical fixtures all have a ground wire, right, and it's a way to connect to like a neutral, and um, we also are made of electrical impulses, right? There's a lot of electrical stuff going on in our bodies, so we are also, similarly affected um, by the energy moving around in the body. So being able to release that energy, being able to settle that energy down when it is getting a little too big, right? Too much um, is good, right? Um, but so it's not so much. It is it is a physical process, but we talk about it more in kind of a mental, like a mental sort of construct. Um, this idea of quieting the mind. So there's sort of passive grounding, right? So passive grounding is when we are just sort of taking the time to do the sort of things that release energy, doing, um, being outdoors, right? Being outdoors and being near the actual earth is, I mean, it makes sense, right? That's very grounding because you're near the ground. But um, it's also uh, just the act of so gardening is super grounding, right? Because you're actually working with the soil, um, and there are a lot of benefits to physically touching soil and being close to the earth in that way. Um, Being outdoors at all, right? In general, is just it's a good experience. So if you think of grounding in terms of physical experiences, right? So physical things that we are experiencing through our body is uh, is are generally speaking grounding or more grounding than say um, the experiences that we are creating in our heads, right? And that's what causes us some problems, right? Is that overactive mind, the overactive internal engine, right? Um, So being outdoors, um, doing things um, with the body is generally speaking grounding. Um, Exercising, um, using the body to release the energy that's kind of built up. These are all good techniques. Um, but there's also some more direct techniques that can be very helpful if you are kind of out there, right, up in your head, and these things can come in a lot of ways, right? Some of us are more prone to this than others, right? Some of us are more um, we live more in our heads than others. Um, Before doing yoga, getting back into yoga, I was very much. Um, I'm not as much now, not so much in my head. Um, and we need a balance of that, right? Um, Being in your head a lot, means that you are very focused on this internal the internal goings on, and you can spin yourself up to the point where you're very upset or very agitated about certain things, and that you can't let go, right? Letting go of those thoughts feels impossible. um, so we have learned lots of techniques in yoga to help us with this, but some of the most direct would be ways to ground. So getting more of your body horizontal is important. So laying down, or even just sitting in a good chair, feet on the ground, um, trying to feel that support of the earth. Right? That's a good first step. Focusing, um, and a lot of times the focus is combined with a physical sensation. So focusing on an object. So people who have issues with this kind of anxious headspace, or getting to the place where they feel really, and being ungrounded can have some real physical symptoms and physical experiences that you may have. So you can feel dizzy, uh, kind of spaced out, right? Like your head is floating up here, away from the body. Um, these things bring you back into the body, and that's really the goal of grounding, is bringing everything back together and keeping it there. Um, so an object can be helpful. A lot of times people will carry something with them, like a little stone, or you can get little gemstones very inexpensively. If you ever see one, pick one that really speaks to you, and then keep it with you. Keep it in your pocket, keep it in your purse, keep it near you, so that if you need it, you can get a hold of it. And then we focus on that. We focus on what we see and what we feel as we're holding it, focusing on that object. And it could be any object, right? Little stones and things are just easy to carry and easy to come by. So it could certainly be something else that is meaningful to you. Um, Another technique, and they use this a lot. There's a lot of different ways that they use this one, but it's called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method, right? So you want to think of 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And you go through this checklist, right? 5 things you can see. So you notice, okay, 5 things in the room. There's a laptop, there's a heater, there's a cup, there's a chair, and there's a curtain. Okay, 5 things. 4 things you can feel. Okay, I can feel the laptop. I can feel the cup. I can feel the floor. I can feel these different things. 3 things you can hear. Well, I hear birds. I hear cars. Um, what else do I hear? A dog far away. Things you can smell. if you don't smell anything, find something you can smell. Go get some perfume, pick up a piece of fruit, and then something you can taste. So something, and we're using the senses to bring us back down into the body, connecting our perception with our our sensory organs, right? Um, a way to de-escalate what's happening inside the body. So you may never need these techniques. Maybe you've got this going on, but these can be very helpful, especially in a kind of a crisis situation where you are feeling super anxious, super panicky, or someone else is. It's a way to get them to focus on something else rather than what's happening right now inside the body, and again, slow things down and de-escalate what's happening. Um, so lots of information online on grounding. Um, it's not a good thing, or it's not a bad thing to know these things and look some stuff up. Um, there's a lot, you will read a lot, and I don't know how much of it is like for real and not real. How much of it is, um, you know, there are people that sell. There's a lot of products you can buy that are supposed to help ground you. Don't waste your money on that. You don't need any of that. just just do the simple techniques, that get you more connected to the body, more connected to what's going on around you outside instead of stuck inside your head. Um, and you don't really need to spend money or buy products to make that happen. Right? The thing to remember with all of these things and everything that you see, is that there's a lot of people trying to sell you things out there. um, but you don't need any of them, right? You have whatever you need right in here. You just need to figure out how to get there. Some of the things that you buy and you use may be helpful, right? A good yoga mat is very helpful. Um, Comfortable yoga clothing is also helpful. Um, Props, blocks, things helpful, but not required. So don't ever feel like there's something that you have to buy to get you where you need to go. There isn't. all you need is right in here. We just have to get there, right? So that is that. When you're online looking at things, it's the temptation is always there to buy things, right? To think there's a shortcut. If I buy this product, it's going to really help me. It's going to jumpstart my practice. It's going to move me to the next phase or whatever. No, it's not. It might be helpful. It might make you enjoy your practice more. It might um, answer some questions for you, or even books, right? I mean, like, we can learn good information and all that, and it can really help us stay motivated or be interested in it. But ultimately, we all have to do the hard work. And there's nothing that you're going to buy that's going to take the place of that. It just takes time and effort. And the good news, I mean, that's the bad news, right? But the good news is everybody has that. Everybody has that ability. Maybe that's bad news too, because we don't have any excuse. The excuse might be that we just haven't been at it long enough, right? But it's also a good thing, right? There is no difference between you and the most enlightened soul out there, except time and effort. That's it. That's all it is. So that's hopefully encouraging, right? Um, there's no shortcut, but there's also no obstacle, right? Except the ones we put up for ourselves. All right, so we're sitting up. Breathing, shoulders right over the hips. Drop the head down. And then move around, making a big circle. One way and the other. Back to center. Lean forward and move around. One way and the other. And then back up to your seat. Arms wide, deep breath. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, hands together. Inhale and exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands, gaze up, and then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift, and lower, lift, and lower. Once more, lifting up. Right arm by your side, reach across. And switch sides. Back up, lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Goalpost arms, take a breath, and then twisting, we're turning the shoulders to the right. Back to center, breath in, exhale, turning left. And back to center. Interlace the fingers. Gazing up. And then leaning forward. And then back up. So just to be clear, when I say there is no obstacle, that's for your practice in general, right? It's not necessarily asana. You may have obstacles to asana, and there may be differences, right? When you see someone who's able to do different poses in a different way, they may have a level of flexibility or just something about their body type that you may never have. And that's okay, right? Asana is only one part of the whole picture. There's a lot more to your yoga practice than just the asana. So if we are going to measure our practice strictly by asana, then yeah, there are going to be people who are head and shoulders ahead, right? They're going to have more ability to get the poses in a different way. Maybe they have better strength. Maybe they're younger and they can do a lot more. That's immaterial, right? Again, like we talk about, it's the practice itself. It's the discipline of coming to the mat, regardless of how you're feeling. You know, some days you aren't going to feel like doing it. I mean, obviously, if you're ill, you shouldn't be doing it. But there's a lot of days we're just not motivated. We may not be ill. We just don't really want to be here. well, we're here anyway. And we're making some effort. And we are thinking about the things that we want to think about, right? We are doing some meditation. We are trying to practice ahimsa. We are trying to get ourselves aligned with the yamas and the niyamas, keeping that in your mind each day. Um, that is the practice of yoga. It's bigger than just asana, but asana is a really important part of it. But it's not the only thing. And if we judge our practice by simply asana, we are going to be disappointed, right? Because there are going to be times when that is not a big thing that we can do. Um, just as we age and our body changes, um, if we strictly value our life on our physical appearance, our physical ability to do things, our strength, how much we can lift or something, you're going to feel like you're falling apart, right? That your life is over because things are changing with your physical body. But we know as sensible people, that our life is more than that. There is more, and the practice is the same way. It is expansive and it is all encompassing. Um, and we work on different parts of it at different times. There may be times that asana is important to us. There may be other times that uh, the meditation is more important, or following those not yamas and niyamas. I mean, not that they aren't always important, but we may really focus on them more one time or the other. Um, it's not all or nothing. It's wherever you are putting your effort, um, at a certain time. And it may change. It may change over time. And that would be appropriate. Just as everything changes with us over time. So we're here, tabletop, then back, child's pose. Tabletop, then downward dog. Walk the feet up. And we're going to fold. Rising up. Standing tall. Breath in and breath out. Inhale. Lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Hands back by your side. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift high. And back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Mat is too far up. Inhale, lift, arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, step back with the left. We're going to press down. Rise up, warrior one. Take one more breath. Move to warrior two. Shoulders relaxed. Steady gaze. Flip that right hand, lift it up high. And then bring that right arm down. We'll pull the left shoulder back. Lift the arm. And then let's bring that arm back down. We're going to bring the hands down either to the mat or onto the leg, and then folding over that right leg. You might still have a bend in the leg, or you may work to straighten. Let's walk the hands back up. And then we're going to step that back foot up. Arms overhead. Back to mountain. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're stepping back with the right foot and rising up. Warrior one. Moving then, warrior two. Flip the palm on the left, lift up high. Right arm by your side. Left arm comes down. Right arm lifts. And then facing the leg here, we're going to fold over. Walk the hands back up. And then step the back foot to the front, arms overhead. And back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're going to step back to downward dog. Come on forward to high plank. Hold here. And then lower down. Remember, you can always drop your knees here if holding in plank is a bit much. And then down on the mat, turn your head to the right, arms by your side. Remember that trick if you're having trouble getting the head to rest. Push forward a little bit with your toes, and that may get you where you want to be. Head back to center. Let's set up for Cobra. So we've got hands right about chest height, elbows squeezing back. And then we're going to lift up the head and chest. And maybe lift the hands because we're not using the arms to lift us up. This is all in the body. Lower down, head turns left. Head back to center. Let's have the arms by the side. Just rest the palms. And then we're going to lift up head and chest. Lift the arms, lift the legs. And lower down. Bring the hands in front. And we'll rest one forearm on top of the other. Bring the feet a little wide. You can turn the toes out, heels in, or heels in, toes. Wait, yeah. Either way will work. Whatever feels good for you today. And maybe take this time here to rest. Focus on the sensations of the body resting on the ground. Notice the physical sensations in the body. Feel how the back and sides expand. And then moving back up into tabletop. If you want to stop off in upward dog before, you can. And then tabletop to child's pose. Back up, tabletop to downward dog. Stretching out the legs. And then coming down to a seat. We've got soles of the feet together, sitting up tall. Deep breath. Lean forward. Coming back up. Let's extend both legs. Inhale and fold. Coming back up. Bend the knees. Soles of the feet to the mat. Let's lower down. Take a few breaths here. Right ankle on top of left knee. We can bring that leg in or leave the foot resting on the mat and push that right knee away. Set your foot down, leave that ankle on top of the knee, and then goalpost arms or arms to a T. We'll start lowering that knee to the left, gazing right. Back up, switch it around. Keep breathing. And then rest it down, moving the other way. So the knees lowering to the right, gazing to the left. Back to center. Both feet down to the mat. We're going to do just a brief supported bridge. Letting everything kind of sort itself out here. Moving back up, then back. Resting on the mat, soles of the feet together. Maybe bring the arms up over the head. Knees back to center. Hug, then into the chest. And then extending. You can lower down however you want to get there. And then just finding a place to be comfortable on the mat for Shavasana. So imagine the body connected, all the places that the body is resting on the mat, connecting down to the earth. And imagine the energy moving through the body, exchanging energy with the earth, drawing new energy or more energy if you need it, but also releasing energy if you have too much, right? Things are too chaotic and active in your mind. Release that, let it go down through the mat, through the earth. Moving fingers and toes, hands and feet, maybe stretching a bit. And then when you're ready, coming up to your seat, hands together, breath in, and breath out. Thank you for taking some time today for yoga and for sharing that yoga with me. Um, I hope that you have a very good Wednesday. Namaste. Thank you. Um, you know what time it is? A little meditation time. So keep that peaceful state of mind, relaxed, sitting up tall, feeling that connection with the earth. Breathe, find that gentle focus. Okay, we're back. So, some meditation, some yoga, um, two parts of your practice for the day. Um, Consider what else you might want to practice today. And I will be back tomorrow. If anything, go outside and enjoy the weather. You've got to just step outside for 5 minutes. You will be amazed. I can hear the birds. I know the birds are loving it because they're already out there singing and enjoying it. Okay, see you tomorrow.